What's up everybody, this is Tripodfay going back to my roots and delivering to you guys another unneeded opinion on a game you already made up your mind about. As most of you know, the Call of Duty World War II beta came out for the PS4 users this weekend, and I gotta say I haven't felt so good about a Call of Duty since probably Black Ops 1 was released. This game is brutal, it's gritty, and it dropped the rocket pack gimmick that's taken me out of the previous Call of Duties. And it really went back to what made the brand a household name. It's boots on the ground, so there's no flying. It's set in the past, so there's no laser beams or space suits. It's truly just a first-person shooter with fun mechanics and an overall great addition to the Call of Duty franchise. That being said, it's still Call of Duty. If you've never liked the game, or the idea of small maps, fast action, dying repeatedly, then this game won't change your mind. This isn't a game for people that dislike the franchise. This is a game for people who enjoyed World at War, Call of Duty 4, and Modern Warfare 2. I personally haven't liked any of the last Call of Duties to come out. I probably put a collective 30 hours in the last 3 combined, and that was mainly because I could not fly and aim to save my life. In the beta this time, I managed to make it to the highest rank available, and max out almost every division. Needless to say, I no-lifed the hell out of the game since the moment they released it. The guns feel good, the maps are fun and entertaining, spawns were always good for me, and each game felt different from the last. The UI was clean, and even with a lot of people complaining about the menus, I didn't mind them. There were a few things that did need tuning, but it's a beta, and I'm assuming that Sledgehammer will look at the data gathered from it and fix it before the game's actual launch in November. Whether you like it or not, drop-shotting has made its return. Some would argue that it's never really left the game, but with jetpacks and exosuits, it definitely saw a decline in use. The maps that Sledgehammer let us test out were smaller than usual, with a lot of tight corners, narrow alleyways, and so it wasn't unusual to run into another enemy face-to-face. Usually, the first person to shoot would win the match, but with a well-timed drop, you would take it every time. It took me a few games, but I was eventually able to get back into the groove of drop-shotting, and it ended up saving my ass more often than not. The main complaints I have about the game are mostly about sound. The ambient noises are too loud, the footsteps are way too quiet, and perhaps the most annoying thing I still don't quite understand, the enemy team yells in the same language as your team, and make the same callouts that you would normally assume is your team making. If you hear,
"They're in the crater! They're in the trench! In the trench! They're at the radar bunker!"
then you basically have a 50-50 chance of getting ran up on by some asshole with a shotgun. And just to hit that point a little bit harder, why does the enemy team speak in the same language as you? It's a simple fix, but it may be too late now. Either you don't hear the enemy's callouts, or you just make them yell in German or Japanese or Italian. I don't think my next point is actually a complaint, but quickscoping is back in World War II, and Sledgehammer made it really, really easy. I would compare it to Modern Warfare 2's quickscoping with a slightly slower aim down sights time. And the majority of my games, I didn't see very many, but as the beta started closing out and everybody's kind of getting kicked off of it now, there was about one in every lobby, and on open maps they absolutely demolished my teams. Another thing I'm not too sure if I like or not is the division system. Divisions replace the perks and create a class essentially. You pick a division, there's 5 available I think. The more you use that division, the more perks you get for using the type of weapon that that division is specialized in. The airborne division uses SMGs, and the more you use it, once you get to higher ranks of it, it'll allow you to run faster, climb over objects quicker, and put a silencer on your SMG. And I'm not too sure how to feel about it because on one hand, you have a huge way to balance the game now, and there's no super soldiers running around with the most overpowered perks or the best weapons. But on the other hand, it takes away a huge, and I mean massive, amount of customization to the classes. We'll see how it goes on full release if they allow us to pick more than one division at a time, but it doesn't look like that's the way they want the system to work. And those are honestly my only major complaints about the game that might take a little more than tweaking before launch. Other small issues I've noticed and the community has hit on is the incendiary shotgun might be a little bit annoying, advanced rifling may be too strong, sprint out time needs adjustment, and headshots don't seem to register as much as they should. Overall though, this is exactly what the community has been asking for over the last few years. We didn't like the future. Despite its flashy bullshit, the game just didn't fit in with the Call of Duty brand. So Sledgehammer comes out with a solid game that brings us back to the World at War type environment, and we're eating it up. Let me know what you guys thought about the beta in the comments, and this video is once again just my opinion on the game, so I'm sure you disagree with me, and if you do, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Tripodfay. And for one last shameless self-promotion, check me out on twitch.tv/Tripodfay for occasional low-quality streams. See you later.